Before we get into this episode of the Dead Spot Cinema Club, I want to give a brief content warning. We'll be discussing the crimes of sexual exploitation and sex trafficking. We don't always get the terminology correct in this episode, and we do feel we could have done better in that regard. Hopefully you'll stick around and enjoy, but please turn off if you feel that such content may be upsetting.
It's the Dead Spot Cinema Club. We've seen some things, but we haven't seen enough. With popcorn dreams and midnight screams, we're chasing scenes through broken beams.
Hello, welcome to the Dead Spot Cinema Club podcast, a podcast where we take one of our buddies who has not seen a movie that we probably think they should have by now, and we make them watch and tell us what they thought. I am Reese, this is Andy,
Dracar Noir,
Amy,
Hello.
and Mark.
hello.
Fantastic. Welcome to our watch of Taken 2008. Guys, we're going to watch Taken together. Some of us have seen it, some of us haven't. Let's go quickly and have a look at some of the facts and figures around Taken, and we can make sure we're actually looking at the same thing and not the Prime series.
There was also a Steven Spielberg HBO series called Taken around the same time as well, but that was to do with alien abductions, so not that.
Right, so we are not talking about the Prime series. We're not talking about the Steven Spielberg directed alien abduction production. We are talking about the 2008 title, director Pierre Morel, who you may know from such successes as District B13, which I am probably the only person in the world that has seen. It is a movie based in France and it's full of parkour. That's it. I know David Bell was in it and he's not even an actor. Anyway, budget of 25 million and it made an enormous 226 million at box office. Rotten Tomatoes score of 60%. I think its pop culture impact is undeniable and that's why it's made its way into our list. So, we're going to go around and see who's had a watch of this and who hasn't. Obviously, I've seen it a number of times. I've seen it semi-recently, probably in the last few years, but it's definitely one of those comfort films I've become very aware of since it came out. So I've definitely seen it over 20, 25 times over the course of the last decade. How about you, Mark? Have you seen this one before?
Yeah, I've seen it a lot. I did watch it very regular when it came out, and a couple of years after it came out, it was quite talked about in my school, even though Andy, it doesn't refer to that. I may have made that up. Yeah, it was talked about in school. A lot of people quoted it. When the sequels came out, I watched a couple, didn't really get into them that much, and then I just sort of let the memories fade a little bit. I haven't seen it for a long time. Probably early 2010s was the last time I watched it.
So, yeah, I should mention as well, this, as Mark alluded to, Taken is one of a trilogy. So it's Taken, Given, and then Taken Back. Honestly, I've watched Taken 2 and Taken 3 once each, and they're both dog shit, so don't worry about them. And if you are listening to this with the hopes of being like, Taken's my favourite franchise, I can't wait to get through this, we're probably not going to cover the sequels, if I'm honest. Anyway, Amy, how about you? Have you seen Taken?
Yeah, so I'm pretty similar to Mark. I saw it a lot when it came out. I can't have seen it in the last 13 years, Andy, if you've not seen it. But it was definitely a film that was, I think, just wherever you went, people just had it on. It was just a very popular film at the time.
So you've not snuck off while you're in the house with Andy to just go and watch Taken in the bathroom or something?
No.
No, okay. And that brings us round to Andy. And you are our man in the hot seat today. So what's your experience of Taken?
So I've never seen it. I don't know how I've never seen it, but there we go.
We're just gaslighting you. No, we haven't seen it either.
It doesn't even exist.
Well, I know like very basic things about it. I know Liam Nielsen's in it.
Liam Nielsen? Yeah. He's just sat there basically watching somebody and recording what they watch on TV.
Yeah.
Tell us everything you know about Taken, Andy.
So I don't know a vast amount about it. Referenced a lot in pop culture, and so I assume, oh, that must be from Taken. Got big Liam in it.
Big Liam we're going with. Yeah.
See where you were going
Yeah,
there.
you know, the big L.
Mm-hmm. L-Dog.
Yeah, I know at least one popular phrase from it.
Hit us.
Oh, so I don't have a lot of money, but I've got a very particular set of skills.
Is that straight from your marriage vows?
I'm still waiting to see what those skills are.
Podcasting, hopefully.
I've already shown I've got no money, so...
So take us back to the references you talked about then. What references are you aware of?
I know in Family Guy, they do like a spoof of it, and they say Dracar Noir a lot. So I can only assume that is in it at some point. If it's not, I'll be very surprised.
What does that mean to you? That means nothing to me.
They refer to it as like a cologne or perfume, so I'm going to assume somehow he uses that as a way of identifying.
I feel like you definitely need to count how many times they mentioned Trois Noirs in Taken.
Is that going to be the counter for Andy?
Yeah.
The Drakkar Noir counter. Okay, write that down for your notes, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're also mentioning Family Guy a lot in this podcast in general. It's like, oh, I'm aware of it through Family Guy. It's like, I didn't realise we all watched Family Guy this much.
Can you also take a note of how many times he says, I don't have much money?
I don't have much money.
But if I did...
Okay, he might not say that exact phrase, but it's along those lines, surely.
That's good, okay. Anything else you already know? So you know it's got Liam Neeson in it. You know that Family Guy have had some reference to do with Drakkar Noir. What do you think it's about? What happens in this movie?
I believe this is about his daughter going away somewhere. She gets kidnapped, or I don't know why. Maybe it's a ransom, which would explain I don't have much money. Maybe it's just she's in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not sure. But then I'm guessing he's going to be like ex-Secret Service or FBI or whatever, and so he will use his previous job skills to track down the people that have kidnapped his daughter, probably hurt them in many, many different ways, and then bring her back. That's all I know. Got many predictions, but that's all I know.
Yeah, we'll get some predictions in a minute. We'll force some more out of you. Don't worry about that. Let's move to our guys that have seen the film for a moment. So, without giving us any spoilers, guys, can you just give us a breakdown of what do you think of it, and how can you best prepare Andy for his trip to go and watch Taken? Let's start with Mark.
As Reese has suggested, it hits a spot, it scratches an itch. It's one of those films. It's not offensive in any way. It's just it is what it is. It's watchable. It's satisfying. But don't expect any depth.
I think I'm going to drop Mark in it here and say that pre-recording, the phrase was spoken that I'd be wary of anyone that was a die-hard Taken fan. Yeah, Amy, what do you think of it?
I mean, I feel like I must have liked it in some capacity to have watched it so many times, but then to all of a sudden not watch it for 13 years, it can't be super high on my list. Yeah, it's a film I still, even after 13 years, can remember certain bits that have stuck with me, so I'm interested to see how accurate they are to what has actually happened and fill in the rest of the gap.
I thoroughly enjoyed it when I watched it, so I've watched it lots of times since then, and then I watched the sequels, and I was like, I'm going to stop watching Taken now. And then Liam went off on one, didn't he? So it kind of got a bad taste. I can appreciate where you're going to be coming from. I think you will genuinely enjoy this film.
What genre would you class it as? Is it like a full-on action, like a Schwarzenegger movie, like Commando? Or is it more of a darker, I'm going to sneak around and snap people's necks?
Have you seen any Liam Neeson movies since about 2010?
I've seen him in The Phantom Menace, and I've seen him in Love Actually.
Yeah, exactly like those.
It's somewhere between those.
It's an action thriller, but yeah, it does go a bit darker than, your Mandos and Beverly Hills Cops.
Yeah, what I was going to say is if you've seen a Liam Neeson movie since 2010, it's the same as any of them, basically, because he made Taken, and then every production company under the sun just went, can you do that again, but for us, please?
Well, I assume I'll like it, and then just go, okay, cool, then just move on. It'll make the references make sense, and then I'll just move on with my life.
Right, so Andy, before we send you off to go and watch this absolute masterpiece, what are your predictions? Tell us what you think might happen.
So, as I don't have a lot of experience seeing him act, I'm getting big dad vibes. He's not going to be like a big action, explosions everywhere. I think it's going to be more like, maybe like a darker, sneaking around, maybe he'll shoot a guy, but it's not going to be like explosions everywhere.
Okay, so some stealthy
Yeah.
murders and Big Daddy Liam vibes. Okay, you've kind of alluded to what you think the story is. You think his daughter's going to get taken as a result of a trip away somewhere. Yeah. Okay, anything else? Do you think anything else about who's going to be in it, what they're going to be doing, how it's going to end?
Oh, I have no idea who else was going to be in this. It could be literally anyone. I don't even know who plays the daughter, so not a clue. I reckon it will end him saving his daughter and then just walking away from just a pile of corpses. And she'll be like, thanks, Dad, and she will not be traumatized by it whatsoever.
Definitely won't do it again for a sequel.
Twice.
She's going to be ransomed. Zoe says he doesn't have much money, but maybe different groups.
Is ransom a verb like that?
Ransom? She will be ransomed?
Ransomed.
I don't think so.
Interesting question.
It's the name of a film, so it might be a real word. Yeah, meaning of ransom, to pay money in order to...
Well done, Andy. Maybe the fool there.
Her father ransomed her for $1 million. It's a verb.
I don't like that.
No, I don't.
It feels wrong.
Yeah.
Right, so Andy, it's time for you to go off and watch Taken and take some notes. See what I did there? And we will get back to you after our intermission. We'll see you later.
Now, the next part is very important. They're going to take you.
Okay, Andy, you're back. You've watched Taken. Tell me about it. How was it? How'd you get on?
Well, it was a film. I'll give you that. I can see why it was popular when it came out, but Christ, I didn't need to watch it now, did I?
That's resoundingly negative of you.
I mean, there were some good parts. Can't deny I did enjoy some parts of it, but, you know, it was just a few cheesy one-liners away from just being an Arnie film, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could say that. It was Neeson taking a break from his traditional actor roles. It wasn't a Rob Roy, it wasn't a Michael Collins role, but you kind of suggested it might be anyway when you went in, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true.
Your Arnie films are like your boomer dad fantasies, and this is sort of the next generation of dad fantasies, isn't it? This is what dads want to do.
So you said that you didn't think much of it, but you definitely got emotional a one little bit.
Oh,
I did. We'll get into that when we go through my notes.
Oh, I love the suspense. Okay, fabulous. Right, so generally not a happy guy. Take me through your journey, Andy. Let's go.
It starts with a home video when his daughter's 5. Bit of a flashback. And then he just wakes up in his apartment all alone. 2 Chinese takeaway containers on the table. His life's not gone great, has it? That's our opening scene.
Setting the scene, yeah, learning about the character a little bit. In case it didn't make it quite obvious enough, it's like, hey, here's a lonely guy. How can we get that across? Sitting watching home videos with empty takeaway containers in that unnecessarily dark room.
Just in case you think maybe he does have his life together, he's buying his 17-year-old daughter's birthday present from a pawn shop, suggesting he's somewhat quite poor. He's not doing great.
Tell me about this transaction and this gift. What are your thoughts? The level of research he's doing on this shitty fucking karaoke machine. How many times did he say he's gone in and read the user manual?
Like 3 or 4 times.
Bro, I think you said 17 times.
Oh, did he? Shit.
He's gone into this fucking bodega 17 times to read the user manual of this karaoke machine. That is a piece of shit, right? It's a piece of shit. Even in 2008. That's a piece of shit.
It did look like just a large Nokia 3310 version of a karaoke machine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure where I work has 4 of them in a cupboard somewhere.
But then it shows you him wrapping it with precision, like he's taking utmost care, like this is the most important thing in the world to him. Okay, fine. So he's a diligent man. He's into his details. It was unneeded, really. Didn't need to know that, because that becomes very clear in like the next scene. But whatever. Wasting my time.
The gift wrapping part is very jarring, isn't it? Like, I had to look back to make sure like my phone was working properly. I hadn't switched to a different film. It just feels so out of place. Like,
You can see what they're trying to do.
yeah.
They're going to build this character by saying it without saying it. But then, like, 13 seconds later, they're like, oh, you were in the CIA. Remember when you were in the CIA and you're really careful and you got divorced? Like, they're going to throw it in your face anyway. So why have they done that?
And it just goes to his daughter's big party. He tries to get it. Security tries to stop him. Oh, I'm a dad. Oh, no, you're not. I work for his dad. Oh, fuck off.
What security guard is working for the stepdad and has not at some point been like, oh, by the way, the real dad looks like this. He's probably come in.
So we meet his old wife that they split up. His new dad is rich as fuck. He gives her the karaoke machine. She says she loves it. I don't know. Maybe she just feels bad for her dad. But then 2 seconds later, Big Dick comes swinging in on a horse, doesn't he?
So we've met basically all the main characters at this point.
Yeah.
What impressions have you built? Do you recognise any of them? Obviously, we know Mr. Nielsen.
The mum looked really familiar. I just couldn't place her. I haven't even bothered looking up who she is. I just know her face from something and I just don't know.
Jean Grey, X-Men.
Oh, that's what it is, yeah. Yeah. She looks so familiar. I just couldn't place it. Yeah, thank you. The stepdad, I just don't like his vibe. I suppose he's not meant to be endearing to us because we're meant to like main character more.
I completely forgot about this best dad competition that happened for like the first 15 minutes of the film. I remember the film pretty much starting a bit later on, and this is just completely blank from my memory. I don't remember this at all. So when I was rewatching it, I was just like, this isn't necessary. Like, I know what happens in the film, and I didn't need this to understand that.
It seems like this is only necessary because at some point in the movie they need him, don't they? They need Rich Dad.
Yeah.
And it's like they have to have some kind of relationship for that to be an option later. The dick swinging contest is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit on the nose, isn't it? Even in 2008, I feel like the rich stepdad and the dad has been played out, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just unneeded because, like, the fact that she lives with him, he's obviously very wealthy. It didn't need the one-upmanship. It was flogging a dead horse at that point, and we're only like 10 minutes in.
It's almost like it's trying to make you pick sides between these two characters, even though one of them's barely going to be in the movie, and the other one has not given us a reason to be on his side yet either. Like, it's like, ooh, you got to pick between these two dads. The fucking poor one that's just bought a karaoke machine, or the rich one that's just bought a horse. And it's like, any more information before I have that thrust in my face? No.
I'll probably pick the one that's on the film poster, to be honest.
I know him from Star Wars, so I'll pick him, I suppose.
He takes a picture of his daughter as well, holding the karaoke machine, doesn't he? Goes back and he updates a little photo album, putting like that picture that he's just got in, and then he goes to the next page and she's 5 again. What have you been doing for the last 12 years?
His 2-page photo album. Like, here's this one of when we got divorced, and then I fucking just went into a spiral for 12 years, and now this one. Okay, next.
Back on track.
Take another one when she's 36.
Then the lads come over and they go into his backstory some more.
Exposition Team 6 come in. That's a good fucking joke.
Yeah, that's...
So yeah, he's given up his CIA life to live with his daughter. They keep offering him jobs, and eventually he takes one. Now, I don't remember if it's here or whether it's later on, where he mentions that he goes AWOL just to be at his daughter's birthday at some point, and he gets punished for it. If he is that dedicated to going AWOL from the CIA to visit his daughter, why has he got no other photos?
I think there's a whole load of questions. Now we know who this guy is. I don't know if you're aware, but being in the CIA is pretty well paid, especially being at the level of security where he seems to have done some secret shit, you know, quite high level stuff. Why is he living in a shitty apartment with no pension and nothing to his name? And it still sounds like he's taking plenty of these cash in hand gigs as well. Like, where's his fucking money going? It's not going to be going on child support because she's fucking rich. Like, what's this guy's story? I don't get it. Why doesn't he access his kid anymore? Like, all I can understand is that the divorce was because he was distant. Does that mean now that he's not in that job, he's still just not going to see her until 17 years later?
Are you suggesting we're missing a piece of the puzzle about the divorce where he's actually the bad guy?
No, I just think we only have one piece of the puzzle.
There's so much exposition and none of it's useful. Yeah. Takes the job where they're going to guard the most 2000s looking singer I've ever seen in my life.
It was Shearer.
Shearer.
Played by Holly Valance.
I knew it was Holly Valance.
No shit!
I was going to say Holly Valance. Beat me to it. He only takes the job so he can ask her for tips for his daughter, who he thinks wants to be a singer. Now, she tells him that, but come on, she's a daughter that sees her dad once every 12 years. She's just going to say whatever to make him happy, let's be honest.
He asks her that right as she's about to walk on stage. He's probably been there a little while she's doing vocal warm-ups and stuff, and he waits till she's just about to go on stage. He's like, oh, by the way, any tips for my daughter who wants to be a singer? And she's like, bro, I've just fucking psyched myself up for this gig to like 20,000 people. You're asking me for tips to you? What? For a guy who's so meticulous and professional, that was very unprofessional.
So then we actually see the security detail in action. All they're doing is standing next to her. They're not checking doors. They're just going, okay, come on, let's walk away from these people. Then you see this shady looking guy who is behind a pillar, but like 25% of him's behind the pillar. The other 75% is visible to everyone in the world. He's got a knife. Ooh, it's like, mate, you should have seen him like 20 meters before she got anywhere near him. It's the excuse to see, I don't even know the character's main name. I'm just calling him Liam.
Brian Mills?
Yeah, Brian Mills.
Okay, so Brian just beats the crap out of him. Fine. Nice, quick takedown. Shows the CIA training. Okay, cool. There we go. We know he's still a hard man.
One thing I think they did well there is show him kind of comforting her. Kind of goes again to show his dad's side of, I'm also caring, you know, I'm a good person.
Yeah, with the energy drink he was just carrying around with him.
I missed that. Did he have an energy drink?
He had like one of them like shots of 12-hour energy or something. It's just like, boom, here, take it. It's good for the shock. But if that is something he genuinely is taking because he knows he's caring for a young lady, that is pretty fucking paternal of him. So yeah, it's a good point.
Or he's just done a lot of hostage snatching and knows well how to comfort hostages, and he's
Well, I mean, he has done by now.
6 or 1. I don't know, a bunch of stuff happens, not really that important. The important thing then is that his daughter wants to meet him for lunch, which he's very psyched about.
You missed the part where the singer was like, "How can I repay you, sir?" And then like says that she'll meet the daughter, and
Oh yeah, I just didn't think that was going to be important.
it leads to the finale of the movie, the big finale. You know, the big emotional tie at the end of the movie that puts a bow on it beautifully and gives us all closure. Doesn't happen without this really important scene where she says that she's very grateful and she'll introduce her to a vocal coach and all that shit. And I honestly thought she was going to suck him off because she comes out in the robe, and I was like, this is a bit weird. He's like 40 years older than she is. Like, showbiz, baby.
I did actually forget about that final scene as well. Like, that just wasn't part of my memory of the film, so clearly important.
I suppose it is important for the lunch scene. Like, he's so excited to tell her this, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's buzzing.
Yeah, they meet for lunch, but the ex-wife is there. His daughter would like to go to France. They need his signature to let her go.
He's under 18, isn't it?
She's under 18.
Okay, he says no because he is the most pessimistic man in the world.
I mean, he's been proven right. His one security gig this year, his employer almost got attacked by a knife. So, you know, he's right so far.
Yeah.
What could a 17-year-old American girl possibly want to go to Paris for?
There's nothing there.
He literally asks her, why do you want to go? What do you not have in this tiny little bumfuck town that you live in?
I mean, I didn't side with him there. I was just like, mate, I know you've seen some things, but come on.
I think he was just pissed off that they've kind of ambushed him with this,
Yeah.
haven't they? Like, the mum has shown up. He says at the end, wouldn't it have been easier if you just told me about this in advance? Because eventually he comes up with his rules, doesn't he? And he's like, you can go under these circumstances. And I think if he'd not been put on the spot, he probably would have been able to think that through and just be like, yeah, sure.
The biggest thing I noticed, though, was when he says no to her, she runs away like a fire, arms flailing.
Literally. I'm dying to know. I really would love to know if that was directed, if that's just how she runs. I don't think that's how any human adult runs. I think she was like, how do I play this as a 17-year-old? Because she's like 26, the actress in this movie. So maybe she's like, how do I play a child?
But eventually, yeah, like you say, he does come round to it.
On IMDb, sorry, Maggie Grace was reportedly trained by world-renowned running coach Alberto Salazar in order to learn the finer points of running like a 12-year-old girl. That is on IMDb.
What was the name? Alberto Salazar.
Yeah. Who was a
that
real
like-
guy.
Is that because it was actually fucking Phoebe from Friends that trained her, and it's one of those other names that she uses, like Regina Phalange, Alberto Salazar?
It's like, I can't tell if that's tongue or cheek or not, because it's linked to a real guy.
But why would the direction be to run like a 12-year-old? She's playing 17.
At no point is she 12 in the film.
Unless the entire film is just in Brian's head, and so he thinks his daughter runs like a 12-year-old.
He's in a coma, and this is playing out in a coma, and his last memory is when she was 5, and he's got that photo, so that's how she runs.
And a man bumped into him in Paris and didn't say sorry.
He got hit by the car in Paris, that's why he's in a coma.
Oh,
Oh, we fucking busted it, boys. So he's come round and he's set some rules. Do you remember what his rules are?
Yeah, so he has to know where she's staying at all times, have the phone number, and she has to phone him as soon as she lands. Those three, quite simple rules.
Yes. Don't feed him after the midnight. Don't get caught by any fucking sex offenders. Yeah.
Don't
simple
talk
rules.
about taken, all sorts of things.
Nice.
To be fair, these are basic rules.
This child is going like 7,000 miles away from home. He's just saying, yeah, can you just like tell your parents where you're going to be overnight? Like, that's not the end of the fucking world, is it?
She's so happy that he said yeah. She runs like a little girl again. Nice little bookend to that. Pretty much the next scene is then just him driving driving her to the airport, and don't know what's going on, but his hair just looks really weird. I don't know if it's the camera angle. I don't know what's going on, but his hair just looks so fake in the car. It was putting me off. I didn't even know what they were saying. I was just looking at his hair the whole time. Because when they get to the airport, it's fine.
Yeah, reshot at a different time or something.
Yeah, it was so jarring to me. I know it's such a minor little thing, but it just threw me the whole scene. We learn about his life. He says something about what his job was.
He was a preventer. He used to prevent bad things. Yeah, because she was asking what he did, wasn't she? What kind of bad things do we think he might have prevented?
9/12.
I mean, this was a post 9/11 film where, everyone was terrified of the unknown foreigners.
If you are Andy, then you saw the date and thought, oh, this is before 9/11. The first things he said to me when he saw when this film was, and I was like, excuse me?
I admit I did say that, and I felt stupid for saying that.
I mean, he says bad things in his opinion, but, the CIA, they set up fake fruit companies in South America to overthrow governments.
Preventing bad things would have been like
Any left-wing government.
preventing the murder of Saddam Hussein 7 years before we still needed him.
When he was still on our side.
I think it's trying to lead us into thinking he was doing a kind of a one-man army type job, isn't it? It was, oh, this is going to go down. We'll send Liam. I guess it's trying to get ahead of the fact that this man becomes the jack of all trades, basically a superhero, has every skill under the sun, because he couldn't just say he was like infantry or an engineer or something, because then it'd be like, oh, well, how do you know how to set up an IV?
And because of the job, the marriage fell apart. So did he not have this job when they met? Doesn't explain anything about the divorce. So off she goes on the plane to Paris, and the second they land in France, they try to get a taxi.
There was the other significant detail. So he goes to help her with her bags at the airport and finds the map of what she's actually going to be doing.
Oh, yeah.
Think of you? Do you remember?
I remember that, yeah.
Because she was going to go and be like doing museum tours and art tours and stuff. And turns out you're following a rock band around Europe, U2. I think even in 2008, only 52-year-olds liked U2. That wasn't a very 17-year-old thing to want to do, was it? Maybe U2 was so famous that using their name is basically public domain.
Maybe. Yeah, I forgot about that. So he gets a bit pissed off about that, but he doesn't stop her going.
No, it has almost no bearing on the plot that she's planning to go elsewhere.
I think it just helps plant that seed of distrust, doesn't it? Between him and the ex-wife, because she knew about it, didn't she? So I think it's just, again, I don't know why, but it's just giving us more reasons to hate the ex-wife, and I don't know why the film's trying to do that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to try and put us against ex-wife and her husband.
Yeah, it literally has no parents.
This poor man, even his daughter is lying to him. It's like, yeah, she's 17.
So she gets on the plane, she's off to...
Charles de Gaulle Airport.
That sounds and looks sexy, because you've got a mustache right now.
Thank you. They arrive there, and why are they trying to get a taxi? Why is there no travel planned for the other side? Why is it so slapdash?
They're 17.
Why isn't the ex-wife like, okay, I'll just get you a pre-book some sort of taxi or...
Because she has already got rich guy's nuts in her mouth. She doesn't fucking care what her daughter does. I think we've established that. She has no regard for her daughter's safety. But I don't know, what are your options in 2008? I don't know what the technology is like. You know, you can't get an Uber. Do you have to wait till you get there to read a bus timetable? Like, was that kind of thing you could look up online easily in 2008?
Yeah, I travelled by myself in 2008 from the middle of France back home on like trains and stuff, and I was able to plan it all out before I left, and I was 17 at the time.
How much did you get sold for to Sheiks?
Who fed your horse while you were travelling?
I did just look it up, and U2 had an album out the year before this film out called like Live in Paris or something.
Oh, okay.
So it feels very thought out.
I think someone just Googles rock band Paris, and that was the first thing
Yeah.
that came up. They're like, yeah, guys, use U2. They know Paris exists.
They've once been there.
Yeah, they're waiting in line for a taxi. I'm still furious about that, but whatever. And some bloke's like, oh, taxis are so expensive to Paris. Why don't I join you? It's like,
Peter, young, handsome Peter.
so presumably he's come off a plane and all he's got is a bum bag. It's like, how are you travelling that way, mate? No, sketch as fuck. Get the fuck out.
I feel like as adults, we are all watching that being like, well, this guy's a fucking sex offender. Like, we can watch that and just say that. I mean... was that obvious to someone watching in 2008 as well? Or are we more skeptical now because we're so acutely aware of that kind of thing?
I think anyone that knows the plot knows not to trust the guy that approaches you coming off the plane.
I'd still say no to the guy. But nah. Or at least not take him to where I'm staying.
Yeah, money's not an issue. It's not a problem that, like, taxis are expensive for them. She has a horse. She has a horse and they're going to stay in what looks like a mansion type apartment. Yeah, a few extra euros or francs in 2008. Euros?
Probably euros.
It was euros then. Yeah.
But yeah, a few extra of those things. It's not going to make a difference, is it? Enough to have someone share.
So are we saying that the whole plot happens because Amanda and her power of owners?
I think that's irrefutable. Yeah. The whole plot happens because Amanda wants to fuck and can't wait till she's at least had a shower off the airplane.
2 hours into a world tour. Why haven't I been laid yet?
And the joke's on her because she gets laid.
So they get to the apartment and Brian isn't happy that his daughter hasn't phoned. The daughter finds out that, she lied to her dad because the cousins aren't there. It's like, you lied to him about the whole fucking tour. Why does it matter that the cousins aren't there when you told him you're in Paris and you're going all the way across Europe? But that's the sticking point for her.
Yeah, that was a strange thing to get annoyed about, wasn't it? Because they were only going to they're just doing one night there, and then they're off to the next venue. Yeah, why does it matter if the family there or not?
Yeah.
Why did Amanda even lie about it? Presumably they still would have gone and still would have lied to the dad.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, that.
Also, he phones the ex-wife, she tells him to go away, and he tries her again and she actually does pick up, but it shows that on her phone he is down as daddy. And the fact that she's 17 and still calls him daddy, I did not like.
I mean, I think I'm probably on a lot of phones as daddy, but let's not make judgments.
Amy, what's your dad down as on your...
If we think about my dad, I'll have a very different opinion of what kind of a father this guy is. This deadbeat, don't talk to you for 12 years and then decide you need to tell me every single thing. So my dad's down as my dad.
Is this her mobile or is this the satellite phone that he gave her? Because then has he programmed himself in as daddy?
Oh, that's so much worse.
Program that, yeah. With a heart emoji after it.
With a picture of his nuts as the profile picture. That's where you came from, don't forget. It's a weird one, isn't it? Just going back to Peter.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Peter's put in the foundations for a bit of trafficking. Does that sound like a reasonable plan? Go to, what was it? They were going to a party or something?
Oh yeah, he was going to take them to a party afterwards and they said because Amanda is DTF.
Amanda certainly is that, yeah. She is not certified pure. What do we think about that? Because obviously it seems like the MO of Peter that he was just going to fucking get some thugs to burst in and take them. So what's the benefit of also inviting them to a party?
It was so he could get their exact address. He said, I'll pick you up later. And then they went, oh yeah, we're on the 9th floor.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because that was bugging me. I was like, why? Because then later when he talks to the other victim, she was taken to a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is their MO? Do they just set a load of different foundations and just vibe it out?
Yeah, mix it up. Yeah.
Maybe the daughter was given off wasn't she given off the vibe that they didn't have time or that she didn't want to, but so it was 50-50 if they'd come or not.
Maybe.
Like that. Less
right.
interesting of a film if they just go to a party and get kidnapped.
Fractionally, yeah. The bar's not that high.
So, yeah, Liam phones the airline and it's like, it says the plane lands at 8 a.m. Paris time. So presumably they get back to their apartment. Say it takes 2 hours. Let's just say it takes a bit of time getting off the plane, gets there 2 hours. So it's midday. And he finally gets in contact with her and then two men break into this fancy apartment at midday. There's like 6 Albanians breaking in at midday. How does nobody spot that?
You did forget to mention he was getting his third photograph of his daughter developed when he was making this call.
Was he?
Was he?
Yeah, he was literally left the airport to go and get the picture developed.
Which photograph was
I
that?
took a picture of her leaving the airport. They hugged just before they said goodbye, and then he went to get developed immediately.
This guy
One
just
photograph.
he just gives himself he just gives himself little errands, doesn't he? He's definitely having some kind of psychotherapy, and they've been like, Brian, you need to give yourself some jobs throughout the day. So how about every time you take one of your pictures, you go and get it developed straight away. Have a little walk there and sit and feed the birds afterwards as well. No, I need a mission. I need to complete a mission. So I'll take my photo, then I'll go develop. It's psychopathic behavior.
Yeah, we see at least 2 men break in. They take Amanda when she's on the phone to her dad, and he is calm as anything, starts recording the conversation with his little kit, which he just has in a box so that he can whip it out at any point like a normal person does. And so he gives us some rules.
I don't think he has a lot of possessions, so I think most of what he owns is within reach.
I was going to say a theme of this episode so far is Reese not knowing how long ago 2008 was. It's like, did they have TVs then? But then, yeah, there's things like this where they've got a hands-free kit you have to plug into the aux until they get a speaker on your phone.
He has to like pause Cascada to then record. This, in my opinion, it's the standout scene in the whole movie for me. This is the one I watch, and I'm like, no other action or kidnap movie brings me the feeling that I get watching that exact scene when she is on the phone, sees Amanda get taken, and he switches from nice, caring dad in an instant, goes, right, logical, practical brain, this is what you do. For some reason, I really related to that. Probably the tism, but the idea of going from really emotional, really caring, really nice, and then flipping a switch and being like, this is harrowing, this is scary, this is my daughter, but the best way to get the result is not to focus on that, but actually focus on the practical message. Watching someone put that mask on made me feel things, and I was like, this is a fucking good scene. I don't know what your thoughts are on that scene.
Exactly the same. I thought this was like one of the standout scenes of the film. I think there's like 2 in the film, and this one.
One of the 2 good scenes in this film.
When this happened, it was like, okay, this guy knows his stuff. He breaks it all down for her. He tells her exactly what's going to happen. It's just a phenomenal scene. And when he says, you are going to be taken, and she is just terrified. You can see that she actually acts quite well there. She looks terrified. And then when she is actually grabbed and taken, and he hears that, he looks devastated, considering like he's just gone from this I'm very serious, I don't know, there's just something about that he looks absolutely broken that's happened, even though he knew it was happening. And then he starts talking into the phone saying, I don't have any money, I don't know, I have a particular set of skills, I will find you.
He gives the speech.
Yeah, it's like that veil he put up to get into work mode. Things just got real for him the second he realised, actually, my daughter has now gone. You could see it just kind of break through to him a bit, couldn't you? It was real, it was good.
And that's the scene that got me a little bit, because like I've got a daughter, and it just got to me. I teared up a little bit. I was like, if that happened, I don't have some skills. I'm in trouble.
I've got a challenge for you now, Andy. I want you to do your very best job of reciting the quote. I just want you to do it from memory in a Neeson voice.
My name is Maximus Decimus.
No, I'm Spartacus. Mark, Google it up for us and start him off with just like the first line.
It starts with, I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If this is a ransom, I don't have any money. But what I do have is a very particular set of skills. Now, if you let my daughter go, it ends here. But if you don't, I will find you and I will get her back. No, I will find you and I will kill you.
Not bad.
Good job. That was not bad.
So what
not
percentage
bad,
was
fair.
that?
One sentence in the middle and paraphrase the last sentence.
Yeah, the last bit was just way off.
I think you then started imagining you were in Taken, and then
started getting angry.
Yeah, I don't have money. He says that so weird, it fucks me up every time I watch it. He's like, if you're
I
looking
don't have money.
But he like slurs them together. He's like, if you're looking for ransom, I don't have money. Like, it's so weird. Listen, next time you hear it, you'll hear that, and it'll be weird.
If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money.
You kind of were aware of this at the beginning before you watched, weren't you, mate?
Yeah.
Your phrasing was, I don't have a lot of money, but I have a particular set of skills. It's not bad, to be fair. Not. So yeah, he has this conversation, he does the speech, and then he goes, I'm going to fucking kill you. And the other guy goes, good luck. And then what?
Goes back to her room, to her house, pretty much tells the other parents what's happened, starts looking for anything, and gets his mates to find out as much information, because she shouts out, 6 foot beard, a star and moon tattoo on his right hand, to get a description of the kidnapper.
Yeah, and he gets some chatter as well, so they're able to track down the language they're speaking as well, aren't they?
Yeah, so they find out they are Albanians.
For the purposes of our lovely listeners, we had to cut about 37 minutes of Mark and Andy being racist in the pre-watch. So this isn't the first time Albanians have been mentioned in this podcast. I'm keeping this bit in, so watch what you say. There's also a bit when he's gone back to stepdad and mum's house. He has a go at stepdad and basically says, I know you're into some dodgy shit. And I think it's trying to maybe lead us towards thinking stepdad's in on it. But the whole thing is just him going, I'll ignore all that if you get me a private jet. Basically, he's just a plot device.
Yeah, I think that's his old habits, isn't it? He's done his background research on someone who's close to his family, and he knows all his dirty secrets, but he doesn't, use them against him.
Yeah, which is reasonable, isn't it? Like, none of those things indicate that he's gonna kill the daughter or not be a good stepdad, I guess. So that's all he cared about, isn't it?
No, but he gets his private jet, and then the whole way he just listens to Good Luck on repeat like a serial killer.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
I understand why he does it later on in the film, but at the time it's just like...
It's a long journey. It's a long journey to be listening to that.
Psyching himself up with it, yeah.
Yeah, for like 8-9 hours, just constantly on a loop.
Yeah, he did like 7 hours of Good Luck and then 2 hours of like just Ace of Spades by Motorhead. So he's like really in the zone to go and murder some Albanians by the time he lands. So yeah, the information he gets from his mates that they are part of an Albanian trafficking gang. And he's got 96 hours usually until the girls are untraceable / dead. So he knows he's on a timer now as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, makes it. Also means that the film's not going to go on forever. So yeah, they travel to France, break into the apartment.
How does he break into the apartment?
Shimmies across a ledge and just punches a window. It's like, there's got to be a...
No, into the main building.
Oh, I can't remember.
Uses classic social engineering.
I was around the door holding a baguette.
Oh, yeah.
And just waits for someone to hold the door open for him because he's got like a little shopping bag with a baguette sticking out of it. And it works.
That's social engineering. That's a known thing. Like if you walk towards a fire exit with something in your hand, someone will hold it open for you without even thinking. So it's a known thing.
Definitely clever. I don't think the kidnappers used that method, but...
No. What was Andy's challenge to count for in this film? Because I suggest we change it to baguettes.
He was going to count how many times he heard them say, I don't have much money, or how many times he heard the words Drakkar Noir.
So far it's 0.
Ah, yes. Yeah, so far. There's still time.
Obviously the kidnappers broke in somehow, but there's no sign of that when he's going around the house.
No. Yeah, because he's had to sneak into the main door with the social engineering strat. Even then, he could only break into the floor below where the girls were, and then he's had to shimmy up a drain pipe to get into their floor. How the fuck did the kidnappers get in? Because nobody's been there since they got in. Did they lock it behind them?
And then he goes around the apartment, playing it in his head, like what happened, and like he's got his little dictaphone or whatever it is that's got the recording on and plays it. And at this point, I noticed an inconsistency. The dictaphone has parts of the scene before he's even plugged into the machine.
Yes. Because he only starts recording when she says that they're kidnapping her.
Yeah.
And there's like the whole conversations in the recording. Unless it's like he just got it off the cloud, the 2008 cloud.
CIA, maybe they had it, who knows?
You don't know what the CIA had access to, bro.
You don't know what they're capable of, yeah.
They can enhance images at
don't.
kiosks.
Don't you start me.
They had AI enhancement in 2008, bro. You don't know what they had.
That kiosk just made me laugh. So after he goes around, does this, he gets the phone, he puts the SD card into a kiosk, which, fine, it can zoom in on a picture. I can believe that. But the fact that it can like magnify and enhance in 2008...
This is the 24ism, isn't it? This is heavily 24 inspired because this is like during the 24 bubble, 2008, when it exploded and got super popular. So I think everyone was just like, yeah, enhance is fine. We'll just take that with a pinch of salt. You can enhance, fuck it.
That camera did not even have 1 megapixel. So how they enhanced that, I do not know.
Pretty fucking reckless of Peter, I guess, to be taking such a wide angle photo of the girls he's about to rape. He knows what's about to happen to these girls. He could have just not taken the photo, putting evidence of where those two were at a certain time by an airport, which is full of CCTV.
I think he was trying to go break the ice. I'm trustworthy. Look, I'll even give you your phone back after I've taken your photo. Hey, do you want to share a cab?
So then he goes to the airport and finds Peter and just starts starts wailing on him.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, because he's in the middle of chatting up some other girl, isn't he?
Yeah, and then Peter's back up. It's not just some random guy tries to help him. So Peter parkours away into a truck.
He does. And this is where, I don't know if you remember me saying, half an hour ago in the pre-watch, when the director also had involvement. Well, his other major release was District B13, which is a movie based entirely around parkour in France, and I feel he just couldn't fucking resist using it in this as well, because it was huge around that time. Like around 2006 to 2010, parkour was fucking really popular. So if you could put some parkour in your movie trailer, you immediately had like the 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds were gonna watch it. So it was a good like PR move. I still, even though I've seen that film like 35 times, I still forget he gets hit by a car at the end.
Yeah, I'd
fucking
completely
great.
forgotten.
I did
So
laugh.
good.
I did laugh. It's like I didn't expect it.
But then he starts walking back to the scene of the crime that the police just chased him away from. I didn't get that. Like, he just walks back down the slip road to where he stole the car from, where the police were just chasing him.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine causing that kind of shit just outside an airport and then being like, okay, now I just got to escape?
Oh, right, now what am I going to do?
Like, on GTA, you'd be fucked. Never mind in real life.
Yeah, the other guy who was, you've seen earlier watching from like the airport cafe, so you kind of know he's on Peter's team.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he joins in, he just gets beaten up, and then that gives Peter time to escape.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. And then he just inexplicably escapes and heads to his mate next, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
uses the old-fashioned newspaper trick. Just sitting at a cafe with a newspaper.
No.
Discount Kevin Spacey.
I don't think I even registered that.
Yeah.
I thought it was Kevin Spacey.
And that's when we find out about the Albanians and how they come from the east.
Like the Mongol horde.
Albania is east of France. Of course they're going to come from the east.
Where the fuck else are they going to come from?
Made them sound like mythical beasts, like mythical creatures. They were like, there used to be 15 to 20 of them, but now we don't even know how many there are. Like, you're telling me that before then there were no Albanians ever in the entire country.
They go between talking about them like they're this kind of almost exotic gang from nowhere who come and they've got this really imposing threat, to just speaking about them like they're fucking parasites. Like this really hideous view of immigration. It's like, oh, the Albanians came in and they kept fucking developing themselves, and it's like meiosis, the fucking thing's really hideous.
Yeah, it's just so racist, the whole thing. It's just,
Bad, isn't it? Really bad.
Yeah, so after that, we travelled to, I can't remember what it's called, so I've just noted it down as Prostitute Town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's just the bad side of town.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure where. I don't know where all the prostitutes are in Paris. I wouldn't go myself, but don't check my Strava.
Yeah, so the translator just sits there. He gets paid 10 hours work for about 15 minutes, so, he's having a good time.
He does, doesn't he? That pisses me off even now, because we still are led to believe that he's not a rich man. He's just wasted his money on this translator, isn't he? Like, he could have got him for an hour or gotten him for 2 hours, but he's going for 10 hours even though he knows he's not going to use it.
I think maybe he was expecting to sit there longer. He gets very lucky with the conversation, goes through all of the main points in the first 5 minutes of listening.
At least just keep him on retainer for the next 8 hours and be like, can you just keep listening in case they give like an address of this construction site or anything else at all? Otherwise, I'll just go to the construction site in Paris. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting ahead of you. Now. I'm so pissed off about this fucking translator situation.
So he talks to a prostitute to get the pimp to come up, basically, and he puts a bug on him so they can listen in.
I thought this was pretty good as well, to be fair. I thought this was it was a good scene of Neeson acting like he can't act. I think that's always going to be hard for an actor, because he's acting like someone who is not good at acting like a really nervous person. And he's like, oh, how much for a kit? Will there be kissing? I just want to know things. It was so fucking bizarre, the conversation he has. But, like, that's what he's going for. Because he's trying to come across as, like, weird enough for the pimp to come out, but not weird enough to be threatening.
Yeah, because when it happens, I was just thinking, what is going on here? And then when he puts the bug on, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Imagine if it was just a totally unrelated scene and he's like, right, 96 hours, I've got some time to kill. I haven't had a kiss from my wife since she divorced me, so I'm going to go get a kiss from this prostitute first. You listen to the chatter on the radio for me. I'm gonna go get a kiss.
Did he know these were the Albanian pimps ahead of this? Or did he just assume all pimps are Albanian?
I don't know. That's a good point. I guess we just have to assume that Jean-Claude maybe gave him a little bit more information about like which district the Albanians run the girls in or something.
Yeah.
The prostitution hotspots that, oh, here's what I'd recommend.
So yeah, he learned that there is some merchandise kicking off in the construction site. Doesn't say where. The construction site.
I think he does follow the pimp's car, doesn't he? That's how he gets there.
Does he?
I think he does a Yui and follows them. Yeah, he kicks the translator out and then follows them.
He gets followed.
I'm pretty sure he follows the pimp to the construction site.
Oh, maybe. I didn't clock that at all because I was wondering how he knew where to go.
I know he is being tailed at this point, but yeah.
That makes more sense.
The translator just being kicked out.
On a street full of prostitutes with money in his pocket, so I wonder what he's going to do.
And if he doesn't, he's getting mugged. He's just in trouble.
Getting mugged or hugged.
So he goes to the construction site and sneaks in, no problem, nobody minds. Just put a hard hat on and everyone thinks you're cool. Sorry, overall's not a hard hat.
Social engineering,
Yeah.
high vis and a clipboard will get you places.
I mean, it doesn't seem like a place with the strictest security protocols, to be fair.
No.
Like, it probably is the kind of place where they just have undocumented people. Like, yeah, come in, do some quarrying, do some shagging, whatever you need, lads.
He does walk in a lot of places in this film, doesn't he? Just a bit of confidence and you get through doors, yeah.
So yeah, he finds a load of drugged up women. So he saves one woman and kills a bunch of guys.
Going back, sorry, in the apartment, he takes like a thread of fabric off the broken mirror.
Oh.
I thought, how was he going to do forensic testing on that? But then, is this related to her jacket? Is that ripped or anything? Do we see that? I have no idea what the significance of that fabric is.
I feel like this is just a case of like, if we do a scene where he gathers all the evidence, see what we've got time to do later. There's probably a scene somewhere of him dusting for prints. Like, there's a scene of him dusting for prints. There'll be a scene of him collecting the glass fragment. And there's probably a whole lab scene where he's gotten his mates to test him in a lab. And after a while, they've just gone, it doesn't fucking matter. Let's just stick that sequins jacket that is ridiculously unique. We'll just stick that on some can't even say prostitute, they're not getting paid. We'll just stick this on some poor woman that's getting railed in a cupboard.
Trafficking victim.
Paris is known for its bad traffic. I've made a note to ask if anyone understood why he, took forensic samples in the apartment and did nothing with them. But maybe it's just closed plot holes later.
I feel most importantly was that he picked it up just with his hand, not with like gloves on.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I guess, is that just his training? Has he just been trained to gather everything he can because it might be useful?
In the 96 hours he's got to save his daughter's life, he better, like you say, dust for prints.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, we're not experts, who are we to say?
He has to escape with the woman, so he bundles her in a car, and then I looked up, and some barrels exploded. I have no idea why.
This is where it gives away it is an action film for dads, because there's a massive fireball explosion because a car bumps into something.
It's like, okay, guys, we've got, what was the budget, like 27 million? We've given $1 million to Liam. Okay, 26 million. Let's do the car chase. Lots of explosions, please. Just gratuitous, isn't it? But I feel like it has to be to just, it might start losing your attention a bit because you've just got one guy, isn't it? You're just following Liam around. It's mostly a bit quiet. He's just been into another quiet place. He's not getting any success. Have some explosions and gunshots, I guess.
So hard to follow what's happening as well. Just shaky cam all over the place while they're in the car and stuff. You're like, who am I looking at now? What is going on? Like,
I could never tell who was in which car.
Yeah.
Have they even considered the police, or are they using that get out of jail free card later where they just go, the police corrupt? Don't worry. They just don't come to that in case, because it's probably them. Like, it doesn't work practically, but you'd think someone would show up. Like, one of the guys isn't on payroll, and he's like, should we go to where all the gunshots are happening in that like quarry, the one that no one's ever looked in?
So then he escapes and he swaps his car. Oh, when he escapes, he flips off the tail, doesn't he? And then swaps his car, so he knows he's being tailed the whole time.
He does.
Goes to some little hotel, and they're like, "Oh, you're back." He's a regular, but for the sounds of things, he hasn't been in the CIA for many years. So how often was he in Paris with drugged up women to have just a usual room?
Yeah. The usual room, no questions asked. How did Paris get the bad rep in his eyes? Maybe he'd been doing some stuff there. Yeah.
Why didn't he just go and stay in this place?
And watch his daughter, yeah.
So yeah, he goes to the motel room where he's got like an IV kit and naloxone, probably.
Yeah, it's like 20 vials of Narcan, yeah.
Then it doesn't it go back to the B plot, which is the Jean-Claude saying he wants him out.
Look at you giving this movie credit for having an A plot.
This is where they tried to bait him out, isn't it?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's put a walkie-talkie against the phone, which I don't know how the phone was answered or dialed. I don't know. Like, wouldn't one of them have to be upside down for that to work? I don't know.
So he's on the. Tell me about this, guys. Because I still can't fucking understand it. And I was a bit younger in 2008, so I don't know what was possible.
He was on a tower like 10 meters away on a walkie-talkie.
No, he's on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, which is talking into a mobile phone, like the next building over. Yeah,
There's a walkie-talkie talking into a mobile phone that had called
Yeah.
the other guy.
yeah,
How can he hear him?
When he releases,
yeah.
just a
I don't
spectral
know.
walkie-talkie.
It's-
So we're just ignoring the that happens when you press it.
Over.
Sorry, the signal's bad. Over. I mean, just keep talking to me.
Maybe he's just got really good lip reading skills through those binoculars.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably it. That's probably it.
Stop trying to defend the film.
What do you think Amy was doing in Paris in 2008? She was the runner.
He does have that weird walkie-talkie hands-free kit, doesn't he? So maybe he'd done something with that. Who knows? They trace it to that building, even though mobile phone tracing works by nearest cell tower. So
Yeah. He then knows that, right, now I can't trust the police and I can't trust Jean-Claude.
But all the guys on the building never turn around to see the only man on the church tower staring at them. Never turned.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to make himself that visible, is there? Like, it's a high risk.
Then we go back to the woman he rescued, who's now sober, and he finds out where she got the jacket. And all she says is, like, the red door in paradise. Unless I'm mistaken, she didn't say, like, Rue de Paradise or whatever it is in French. She just said the word paradise.
yeah,
Just Red Door Paradise, I think. And then from that,
He fast travels to the right place.
yeah.
Tried to look up how many places in Paris are called Paradise, but my Googling is terrible. So maybe there is just one.
Rue de Paradis or Rue de Paradise. According to the Taken wiki, there's only one, but you know.
So yeah, he then goes there and pretends to be Jean-Claude. It works. He has to see the boss, asks for Marco. They're all Marco, apparently. So after a bit of negotiating, make them think that he is actually a corrupt cop. He figures out which one is actually the guy he talked to by giving them a piece of paper with good luck in Albanian on. So it's a good job he listened to it for 7 hours, because otherwise...
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to. And I have the ability to go right back in the movie to hear the line and then go right to that bit. And I'm still like, yeah, it could be him. Could be any other guys too. But yeah, it's pretty clever what he did, though. Like, he managed to get a discount for the police, which is obviously really good of him. Like, initially I was like, why is he wasting so much fucking time trying to get a discount? But then it's like, he's just trying to work out who will hand him the money, because then that's more likely to be the boss, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one that's actually going to put hands on the cash. So I think he was like 99% sure, and then he's like, just read that as well for me. And then if he'd then gone, good luck, he'd be like, oh, actually. I think he just needed to sound a little bit like it, and it would have been enough.
To be fair, I did quite like the scene with him negotiating with them, like just being so brazen and just, yeah, no, it's going up 10% now, lads. Don't mess me about another 10%.
Yeah, I guess it's that social engineering again, where you kind of, he's being so brazen, it can't be bullshit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, why would
Yeah.
a guy who's pretending come and then create conflict and end that relationship or threaten them? Or, yeah, it's like he's gone in there with nothing to lose, and that's actually helped him. It's
Yeah, and it's all about money, so he's got them on the back foot by threatening to, extort them for a bit more money, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy, we need to be careful with this guy. They're not looking out for, like, who is this guy anymore, they're now trying to defend themselves.
I did quite like the bit where he's then turned around to him and says, oh, we talked on the phone the other day. I said I'd find you.
The realization sinks in, yeah.
And he's like, bro, you are the 17th dad I've spoken to this week. Do you know how many people's little girls I've got in my basement? Think you're important because you got on a flight?
So yeah, he just murders them. And to be fair, I quite like the bit where he kills everyone in the room when he's lying on the floor with a body on him. More guys run in, he pretends to be dead, and then just kills them. Just bam, bam, gone. They're quite like that little touch of that scene as well. So well done to them.
Good bit of action.
I can't remember what happens next because all I've got now is find Amanda dead. OD'd. Is that in this building? I think it is, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. He goes exploring the building and finds like all the rooms of
Doesn't
women.
set
Yeah.
any of them free. Just leaves them there.
Doesn't give a shit. It's not his daughter.
Well, find Amanda.
He doesn't even really care about Amanda. He doesn't even really care about her. He goes, oh, that's Amanda. Yeah, she's dead. Anyway, let's not mention that ever again in this film. Yeah.
He's not the only one that doesn't care about Amanda. Fucking nobody gives a shit about Amanda for the rest of the franchise.
Oh yeah, then he starts torturing Marco, doesn't he?
Yeah,
does.
with the electricity. Yeah, that's fun, isn't it? This movie was a 13 for a while.
Was it?
Yeah, when it was first released, because they released it in France and around Europe first, it was a PG-13 for the majority of the time. I think it was only in the American release it got bumped up because of the level of torture and murder.
Rated PG-13 for intense sequences of violent, disturbing thematic material, sexual content, and some drug references and languages. But then, yeah, it said later on it was
Yeah, so
reclassified
it
as
came
an
out
R.
like a year and a half before it was released in America, and America are a little bit more rigid with their classifications of this stuff. This went like a year and a half with people learning what trafficking was for the first time based on this film, probably. Just good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, so he electrocutes Marco, gets a name. And because she's a virgin, she gets sold instead of just turned into a rookie prostitute.
I have questions. Now,
Oh, God.
I'm an experienced man, but I don't know any way I would be able to fucking tell. Like, how do they know she's a virgin before? Like, I know a very, very rigorous clinical test would have a reasonable assumption. Like, they might be able to detect with accuracy. I feel like they probably don't have access to a good gynecologist.
Yeah, it's a bit medieval, isn't it? Like, let's get the village priest to check your hymen. That
I know they did say later on that she was verified as one, so
Certified pure.
yeah.
It's very vague on how, but yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
dark to think about.
Although,
yeah.
I guess a top tip for travelling from now on, tell them you're a virgin and you won't die in the first place you get to. Top travel hack.
Yeah, you'll be auctioned off and you get to go on a yacht.
It's a nice yacht.
Yeah.
With Jabba the Hutt.
Getting ahead of ourselves again.
Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so he goes back to his French mate, so A and B plots converge again, where he's just chilling with his wife. So he just has a little word with him in front of his wife, and we find out that he is indeed involved in this and he's a corrupt official.
Well, if your incomings are this and your outgoings are this, what choice have you got to fund a little bit of trafficking?
My salary is X. My expenses are Y. As long as my family is provided for, I do not care where the difference comes from.
I can't cancel my Netflix, so I've got to turn a blind eye to the rate.
I've got to have my avocado toast.
Yeah, he's just so matter of fact with it. It's like, mate, you must be getting a decent wage as it is. How are you overspending so much?
He keeps talking about how senior he is with his desk. It's like, come on, you're making money then.
Yeah. It's almost like when he leaves, he wants to be able to turn around to his wife and be like, yeah, I mean, you said you wanted that fur coat, so this is your fault, really, isn't it?
He pulls a gun on Liam, but Liam's already taken the bullets out, so he shoots his wife.
Excellent. I like that. Even though it's really fucking cheesy, I like that he was like, you've been out the game so long, you don't know the difference between the weight of a loaded and unloaded gun. And I did think that was quite cool, even though usually I don't like that cringy kind of thing. And shooting the wife, like, that's just dad, isn't it? That's him coming out as literally nothing is more important than my daughter right now. So this woman that I've known years and I'm friends with, I will just shoot her, like, because I'm trying to find my fucking daughter and they don't care. That is a big thing for me. I think that's a big scene.
I read it more as Stone Cold CIA agent when he did it. Like, I've got leverage on you, bang, there's your wife, do as I say or she bleeds out.
Interesting. Yeah, there's that cold-hearted look at it as well, like void of emotion or driven by such powerful emotion. Either way, she's in the wrong place.
Yeah, he did say to the guy, tell me what I need to know, or the last thing you'll see is me killing your wife. So that's his leverage.
But luckily enough, he's got a PC at home that's connected to the French police computer or something in 2008.
Well, you never know.
2008 wasn't as like, as you said, as like medieval as you think it was. iPhones were out.
No, I think it was. No, it was.
He had Facebook.
I don't, it's just to have a permanent connection to like the French Secret Service or whatever it is that kind of computer's connected to. It just seems out of the way. It should just be in his office. It should not be at home.
We were in uni at that time, Andy. We did like most of our research online on Open Athens and stuff. What do you think the government had?
I don't know.
Because he's also like quite high up, so it doesn't seem unreasonable that they'd go, yeah, you can have this at home.
Is he working from home or is it just for fun?
Hybrid working.
Actually, a bit of a trendsetter.
Either way, it's lucky that he's got it so that he can find the guy's name.
Yeah, very lucky.
Once again, fast travels to the next place and he just dresses up as like a server to get in or something.
He doesn't even do that. He's wearing like a completely different shirt, no tie. He just like steals the tray.
It's almost like he wastes time trying to dress up because the next guy he sees immediately swivels back and goes, "Oh, you're not a server," and he just kills him anyway.
And yeah, so instantly just finds a way to the basement to where the super secret auction's going on. No problem at all.
Whose house has that kind of facility in the basement? Who's built that? That's like some H.H. Holmes kind of thing, isn't it? Like, he's had to get contractors in and be like, yeah, so downstairs...
It's a recording studio.
So we all need these little soundproof booths, yeah, in a circle, and in the middle, just like, I don't know, we could call it a stage, I guess. Okay, yeah, like, yeah, can it revolve as well? Is that all right? Why? Like a cattle market. Is that all right?
And then probably some cells lead into that, so we can keep things in there?
Not a green room, no.
And then can it just like, can there be a little like path that leads just straight out onto the river so we can get into a boat? You're not going to be able to get cows into a boat. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about what we're selling.
What light bulbs do you want, mate? Oh, the dimmest ones you can get. But luckily, his daughter's the very last one. How convenient.
Well, she's the best one, even though every single one before her was fitter, but she's the best one.
Based on what? They're all virgins.
She's certified pure.
Surely all of them are. That's why they're there.
No, this one's certified. This one by the DVSA.
The governing body.
I don't want to think about the governing body of sex trafficking that audits and regulates virgin certification. Feel like that's a slippery slope.
So he forces our friend that he meets to bid on her, and he wins. Yay.
Remember how much she goes for?
It's like 250,000?
Quite a bit, I'm sure it was.
I think the one before was 250. I seem to remember her going for like 500, but yeah, it went high.
I was thinking 500.
Go on, have a quick check.
Why am I Googling this?
What's the going rate for a
How much
certified
is-
pure American girl, 17-year-old? That'll be why she's more expensive, because she's 17 as well, by the way. That's another disgusting thing to consider.
Probably.
Because I forget that she's a child in all of this.
Yeah.
Like, she's a child. Being adults, this is hideous enough. But then you factor in that she's a child, and she's probably not the youngest child that's been on that stage. It's a bit of a fucking nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I did just find out that I do not like is that her official date of birth is a month younger than I am.
Amy, how was your trip to Paris?
It was nice. I met some nice people.
Got invited to parties.
Unlike Andy, I had access to computers.
It must have been a long journey there on the wagon and horse, though, right? Sorry, go on. He's urged Prince of Persia to buy her.
Yeah, and so then they try to leave, and he's instantly captured. Just instantly.
It had to happen eventually. He's been getting away with so much. Like,
Just leaving people unconscious in the corridors outside, and it's like, yeah, someone's going to wake them up and go, what happened? Oh, this guy hit me. I think he went in there. It's going to happen.
he also left Jean-Claude's house, having just knocked Jean-Claude out, shot his wife in the shoulder, told them both where he was going.
Yeah.
It's not going to take him long to wake up, is it? And then be like, oh, guys, he's on the way. Keep your eye out for an angry 52-year-old.
He says to his men to just kill him quietly, and so they choose to strangle him. It's like, okay, it's a choice. He is just very calm during the strangling, so it's like, yeah, this is just a Tuesday night for him, isn't it?
Look, buddy, as a man also going through a terminated marriage, let me tell you, this isn't the first time he's had a belt around his neck, okay?
Oh, God.
This isn't his first rodeo.
Oh, yeah. So he obviously escapes and just kills all 6 of them, steals a gun, and just chases down the homeowner.
The homeowner.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, so he finds out about the boat.
I know they said there was no refunds for this auction, but the guy held at gunpoint still won, even though he bid it against his will. And he was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll take her anyway. Why not?"
I mean, he's got the money.
Yeah, but it's like he wasn't gonna bid.
And the Sheik seemed pretty happy with him, so he's done him a favour, I think.
Yeah.
500,000 she went for, so I just got it up on my phone now. Just watching it while we're listening. 500,000 she went for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad takings.
Oh yeah, the guy's saying that it was just business, and that was it just felt such a cliche. Even back then, it was just business. It wasn't personal. He responds with, "Well, it was personal to me." Is that the first sort of time that's been said, or is that just really, really old still? It just felt really cliche. So they get into a car, and he just chases after the car on foot. It takes him quite a while to go, you know what, a car might be a better idea.
Yeah, these cars are a bit fast, actually.
Yeah. And then again, parkours off a bridge onto the boat.
Nice.
Then it gives final level vibes as all the bad guys here upgrade from pistols to SMGs.
It's so templated, isn't it? It's like, okay, now let's give them slightly increased combat abilities, better martial arts skills,
Different coloured vests.
and make them a bit tougher. Why is this little dude that wears eyeliner, why is he the best bodyguard? Because he's the best fighter out of everyone we've met so far, but he's also like the one that has to go and sit and make the bids. Like, why is that his role? That doesn't seem to make sense.
He's the final boss, mate. I mean, well, the mini boss before the final boss.
Yeah, and then the actual final boss is like proper Time Crisis vibes, because it's like aim and shoot. Maybe this is a flashback now to like the guy behind the pillar in the stadium, because now it's the Sheik behind the tiny little lady. He's not well hidden.
No, and so just shoots him straight in the head. That's pretty much it. It just ends.
He's about to negotiate, isn't he? And he just shoots him in the head mid-sentence.
He's like, he tells the mascara dude that, like, I'm just here for my daughter. It's like he's just exhausted at that point, and he's like, look, I'm gonna kill you all. Can you just give me my daughter and I'll go? Like, I don't care what you've got going on here. It's almost like he wants to give them a chance to hand them over, but for some reason that didn't appeal to their human side.
He just shoots him, and it just kind of, the film just kind of ends there, really, doesn't it? It's just, okay.
No, it doesn't.
I remember the film ending here. Maybe there's a different...
The film doesn't end.
Am I thinking different between theatrical and extended cut or something? Because I remember the film ending. Like, literally...
The film does not end. Things stop happening, don't get me wrong, but the film doesn't end.
Yeah, but the film probably should have ended at that point, because the daughter runs to him. They're at the airport back in America. No signs of PTSD whatsoever.
Yeah, she is fine, right as rain. Like the same fucking day. They've gotten on a flight 2 hours after she'd been rescued, and then they arrive the next morning. Mum's there, hugs, fabulous, lovely.
They're laughing and joking. Amanda is dead.
They're having a lovely time. Who? Who are you talking about? I don't know. There was no Amanda in this movie. Don't worry about it. She's not my only friend and my best friend that I was going to travel around with for the next 3 weeks. No, it's fine.
And then, do you want to go in the car with your stepdad or your dad? Oh, I'll go with the stepdad. It's like, no, you're going to be clinging to your dad for a long time now, because he rescued you and he's the only one that can keep you safe.
This 17-year-old has seen hell on earth. She's then taken just back to an airport near home and said, right, so do you want this lad that's just been through all this with you and saved your life, or go sit with your stepdad who's a little bit dodgy but it's fine?
Oh, your stepdad's missed you.
How can Liam Neeson leave her side either? You couldn't, would you? You'd be like, I'm coming in the car with you then, because my daughter has just very nearly been a sex slave.
Oh, but no, America's perfectly safe compared to France.
My God.
And then-
Yep, she gets some lovely singing lessons, and it's fantastic, and it's all beautiful. The end. Thank you for an amazing holiday, Taken. What's fucked up is anything could happen in France. Anything at all could happen in France, and this movie still ends the same. The last scene is still the same if she has a lovely holiday.
Yeah, she finally gets a surprise her dad had been planning, and they'll go laughing and joking into the sunset. Yeah.
Fucking wild. So, well done, first of all, for getting through that movie, buddy. You did a good job. And a really, really good breakdown of everything. So I've got a couple of things I want to take you through, because we're going to look at the predictions you made before watching.
Okay.
We're just going to compare that to how you actually feel about it and what we saw. So the first one was, we've kind of covered the phrase that you set out was, I don't have a lot of money, but I have a particular set of skills. pretty bang on there. Then there was Drakkar Noir. I am no closer to knowing what that means. Like, I had no idea when you mentioned it in the pre-watch. I still have no idea now. Was it relevant in this film in the slightest? Was there anything to do with Drakkar Noir that I missed?
Nothing at all. Family Guy did me dirty there.
Okay. And here's what your prediction was for the premise. You said the daughter goes away, gets kidnapped, maybe by random, maybe she's in the wrong place at the wrong time. He will use previous CIA/FBI skills to hurt them all in many different ways, find his daughter and bring her back. Pretty accurate. Do we think it was random or wrong place, wrong time? Or
If she went to a different airport, she would have been fine.
yeah, we don't think there was any like premeditation to it or anything.
No.
Just that Peter found them rather than was looking for them. You predicted there would be Big Dad vibes from Big Daddy Liam. We got them, I think, didn't we? We discussed a couple of those big scenes where, you know, three of us here are fathers, and I think there are certain bits where you watch it and you are a little bit like, oh, that'd be fucking horrible. And you can kind of feel that protective instinct. It is almost like a dad's wet dream to be able to go and one-man army through a whole country to find your little one, isn't it? Amy, did you relate to the mum much in that one, mate?
It was definitely a different experience watching it now than it was when I was 18. Now having children, it's like, oh, this hits home a little bit more. I feel like my mum would also have been like, yeah, go, whatever, you'll be fine. So,
And I don't know about you guys, but how many times would you be saying "I told you so" for the rest of your fucking life if this like, any decision that's trying to happen, you're like, well, yeah, but you remember when you let her go and get raped all those times? So I'm actually gonna take her out for pizza for the third time this week. So,
No, I think she wanted an iPhone, not an Android. Yeah, but remember that time.
remember when she wanted to stay a virgin?
Oh.
And then you were fucking bang on with this one, mate. It'll end with saving the daughter, walking away from a pile of corpses. She'll say, "Thanks, Dad," and she will not be traumatized whatsoever. Those are your exact words. That is bang fucking on, isn't it?
That poor girl.
The irresponsible way this movie has looked at trafficking, it approached it with such like, it really showed the dark grittiness and how it's like penetrated society and how it's made just people from all around the world vulnerable, like any walk of life. They were, in a way, these girls were more vulnerable than the prostitutes who were local because at least they had some kind of right to walk around. It was being really gritty and true to life. And then the nature of then just being like, oh, but it doesn't have any effects that last, so don't worry about it. Like, that is wild, isn't it? You would like to think it would have some kind of something at the end that would indicate that this in any way affected her on a human level. Yeah, really gross. Really gross.
I mean, do the sequels go into that at all? I don't want to ever see them, but are they more responsible with like the after effects?
Do you know what, bro? I'll ask you about a sequel in a minute. Your only other prediction was that she will be ransomed. No, if anything, the kidnappers ended up paying for her, so joke's on them, innit? Overall, pretty good predictions. You said that you didn't think it was a good movie. I think that's fair. Did you enjoy it? Are you glad you watched it?
I can see why it was popular with like teenagers when it came out. It's just a bit different with how it goes about with the action. That's, yeah, fine. It had terrible car scenes. There were some good parts to it, to be fair. I think it's a pretty standard sort of action film taken from a slightly different way. I'm not going to be rewatching this in the next 10 years because I've seen it now. It's a very two-dimensional film. There's not a lot of substance to it. So I've seen Commando once, not going to see it again. I've seen this once, I'm not going to see it again. I think it's just that kind of film. Like you said, you don't need to think about it. It tried to make a point, I suppose, with the trafficking, but then it just falls apart at the end, doesn't it? So
it fumbled any kind of deep meaning it was trying to have, I think. The director wanted to cross into this action space. The intention of this movie was for it to be just a run-of-the-mill tick in a box, basically. It was like, yeah, we'll bang out a few actions, keep the budget coming in so I can fund my more artistic projects, basically. So the intention was always for it to be a bit meh. But then Liam Neeson, who had a personal relationship with, it was either the writer or director, approached him and said, I'm looking at getting into some action, stick me in your next one. And then that kind of just changed the game a little bit because now all of a sudden this really big actor was tied to the title of it. So it outperformed everything it was supposed to. Like, I think it actually released in mid-2007 in France only. Through that circulating and coming out across Europe and getting seen in America on Pirate and stuff like that, there was just this big taste for it. And then they had the US release. The US release was quite a bit later. It was like 2000. It was like mid to late 2008. It was a good 18 months after the first release, and it just dominated the box office for like 3-4 weeks. Everyone wanted to see it because it was just Liam Neeson doing something that Liam Neeson hasn't usually done. It was just a surprise hit, which was mad. And then it's led to, like I said, a sequel, which is fucking, don't bother. If I remember rightly, does anyone care if there's spoilers for the sequel?
No, I think yeah.
If I remember rightly, the mum gets taken. They're getting back together, and then the mum gets taken. It's a whole fucking thing.
It's the Albanian gang getting revenge, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember for the life of me what happens in Taken 3. And then you've got obviously the TV series. So like this thing that was meant to just be a little project that funds the rest of it, it became like a huge, huge moneymaker and totally transformed Liam Neeson's career as well. Because before this, he was not an action guy. He was like a fucking bordering on play act. He was like an Ian McKellen type that he would be in the good things. He'd play, Rob Roy, fucking Qui-Gon. He'd play those like deep parts well. He wasn't known for this kind of thing. And then after this, just look at his fucking IMDb for after this. It is just action thriller after action thriller after action thriller. He became the action guy, which was fucking mental. Because he just fancied it. He was like, I've done a bit of boxing growing up. I know a bit of this. I know a bit of that. I've got a house in France, so I'd like to spend a few weeks in France, get me involved. And now he's just an action hero. And there were scripts that were coming into him in the years after this that would have lead action character age 36. And then that would be crossed out and it would just be like Liam Neeson's age written in because they're like, oh shit, like, action protagonists don't have to be in their 30s now. They can be like slightly older dudes because they can be fit, they can be strong, and they can give off a slightly different, like we've seen, like a more paternal vibe, which I think it helped. Even though there's nothing that great, apart from those two scenes we talked about in this film, there's nothing that emotional about it. It's not very deep. The writing's not great. I think it might be just because he's a bit older. There's that paternal, like, fragility to him where he's not, like, a fucking stacked Jason Statham character that's just a fucking unit. Like, he's just, like, an almost normal-looking guy who's aged a bit. A wild transition for the producers and for Liam Neeson, this one.
I'm just glad he didn't have terrible one-liners after each kill.
Yeah. It didn't need that, did it?
This did follow the Bourne trilogy as well. Bourne trilogy ended 2007. I think they'd realised there's a taste for, the strong silent type protagonist. But like you say, they're usually in their 30s.
That makes sense as well with Bourne and Jack Bauer.
I was watching it and I was like, actually, I did kind of still enjoy this for what it was. It's dumb, but it you can watch it. It's entertaining.
I think let's take one from everyone. Let's take everyone's highlight and everyone's low light. So, Andy, take us off first. Best moment of the movie.
Bit where he says the famous line, isn't it? It's just that phone call is just the best scene in the film.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Amy? Best
bit?
Yeah,
I think my best bit is just when he goes through that scene again, when he's there in Paris and kind of does it step by step.
Oh, when he's like seeing it in his head and hearing the audio on the recorder. That's pretty cool. I like that. You like that murder mystery vibe as well, don't you? It's that solving it, putting the pieces together, isn't it? Scratching that kind of itch. Go on in, Mark. Best bit.
Just when he lets the gangster realise slowly that it was him he spoke to on the phone, and then he just goes straight in for the kill. He doesn't let it brew at all. You get that weird like smirk on your face watching that. It is dumb, but it's satisfying.
You've got like a shared thing. You and Liam are like, we know this and you don't, motherfucker. Go on, worst bits. Andy, worst bit of the whole film.
Anything with the car. I just hated it. The camera was terrible. It's just...
Very fair, yeah.
Amy?
Mine would be the construction site scene. I kind of wasn't paying as much attention to it this time around because I'd seen it before, and I generally looked down and up and I was like, I don't know what's going on right now.
I think I had a similar experience during that. I think even though I was watching the movie, and I had subtitles on, because nothing really gets said, my eyes just weren't focused anywhere, and because they're shaky cam and because nothing really happens, I was like, I don't even care about this scene now. Like, I don't know which car is which, I don't know who's doing what. Why can't anyone fire their fucking weapons at him? It's one dude that does that whole thing where enemies can't aim guns as well, and that pisses me off. Mark, worst bit of the movie?
I'm pretty much central in that Venn diagram. Just anything to do with car chases or big action sequences, and just it's almost impossible to follow if it's not on foot. It's just so dark as well. Like, every scene is dark. You just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, if you were scrolling through this, your little thumbnail on the scroll line, they would all be the same colour. So no one's worst bit was Kimmy running.
Is that yours?
No, mine is just... I think I've said it a few times now, but literally just the words certified pure.
Yeah.
There's so much connotation underneath that phrase that it makes my skin crawl. It's hideous. I don't like it. I wish no one had turned up with that word, and I hope it's not real, and I hope someone just created that phrase.
Don't want to Google it.
Yeah, definitely don't. Definitely don't. Right, so we've all enjoyed our journey to Paris and back. Thank you so much for watching and bearing with it. I hope Big Daddy Liam took you on a memorable journey, saved you from the sex offenders, and brought you home safe without any trauma. And I look forward to our next watch. I don't know when it's going to be yet, but for now, guys, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not